Yesterday was insane. A historic day for crypto, and not in a very positive way. We need to talk about this, talk about the records that were set in the wrong direction. Take a look at Bitcoin right now and what this chart is showing us. The official Bitcoin account on X is sharing this with us. Look at this. The first ever $20,000 Bitcoin candle, and it is the wrong direction. All the way from 120 down to 101K. Back up to 112, 113 today. Let's look at where we're at right now. 112. Ethereum's back down below $3,000. But more importantly, look at what happened to some of these altcoins. This is the peak for Cardano in the last cycle. This is the wick that we saw yesterday. That's 90% from the top. That's like a bear market low that it was just put in for Cardano during what's supposed to be the middle of the best bull market in the history of crypto, as everybody's been so excited about. Coins like Crow put in a wick down to 6.7 cents. And there's so many others. Litecoin, Aster, you name it, guys. There's so many coins. Look at XRP. XRP was the third largest cryptocurrency until Binance flipped it the other day. Wicked all the way down to $1.41 on some exchanges. It wicked down to $1, I think. This is craziness. Pepe had a wick down to the levels it was at in May of 2023. Looks like it died yesterday. What the heck happened? This was not what we were waiting to see in October. This is October, people. This is the moment we've been waiting for. And why did it all happen? A whopping $16 billion worth of longs were liquidated in like an hour. In like 1 hour yesterday. If you were in a 3x long, you got wiped out. Anything, maybe 2x long survived. Probably not. Almost every leveraged position in the market to the long side was rocked yesterday. And a lot of shorts, $2.45 billion worth of shorts. That's because greed kicked in and people then started to try to short it with high leverage as it was falling down, and then you get this cascading event. And it's part of the reason probably we're back up to where we're at right now. Now, I think leverage is a great tool. We have sign-up links for leverage platforms, but one of the lessons that is learned here today is there is risk with it, guys. I like to use it. I was in a trade. Fortunately, you get stop losses set so you protect yourself. Because if you don't have a stop loss set, then you get wiped out. And there are people that got wiped out. There are people doing the last thing they'll ever do. There are people making choices that you can't take back after getting their life savings or their positions liquidated. I just want to say to anybody out there, if you did get hurt yesterday, you'll be okay. This is money. Money is money. That being said, it's extremely frustrating, and I'm angry for you. This was a savage day and a suspicious day, to be honest with you. To put it into perspective, we could actually compare this to the pandemic crash or the FTX crash. $1.6 billion in liquidations, $1.2 billion in liquidations. Yesterday, $19 billion between the shorts and the longs were wrecked. The largest liquidation event in history, 20x bigger than March of 2020. Crypto Rover reporting this. So many others are reporting this. Same data. I'm just sharing it with you guys. It's fishy. Now, some people are blaming Binance. Some people are blaming a bunch of different exchanges. Robinhood had issues yesterday. We saw Coinbase have issues yesterday. We saw Richard Tang, who is the current CEO of Binance, took over for CZ, put out this message. The last 24 hours have been turbulent for the crypto market. I know many of you face challenges on our platform, even Binance having issues. I'm truly sorry to everyone who's impacted. Compensation will be provided where applicable. How are they going to decide that? $19 billion is gone. And how are they going to fix that? There's a lesson here, guys. As some of these alts went down 90%, Bitcoin's down 5.9% in 24 hours. It's only down 8% in the last 7 days. That's not the end of the world. The totality of the Bitcoin dip from the high to the low is 13%. We have 30% corrections that have happened regularly through this bull market. For Bitcoin, this is actually nothing. But for altcoin holders, this is not what we wanted to see. This is not what we expected. Now, it does fall in line with the thought that I've been putting out that Bitcoin dominance could climb higher. It does fall in line with the idea that I've been talking about, the one that I didn't really like, where Bitcoin could fall back down to 110. Bitcoin could fall back down to 107. It might even fall down to 101. Actually, this isn't even showing the wick down to 101. I don't know why this is not showing that wick. So, this is maybe a bad chart because, okay, 20% down to 100K. That was the wick. Wow, I'm surprised that it's not showing that actually. Maybe I have to find a new Bitcoin chart. But yes, on some of these charts, you'll see that Bitcoin wicked all the way down to 101 on some of these exchanges. This was a total liquidation cleanup of the market. Now, there's good and there's bad in this. The bad is people got wrecked. That's terrible. The good is that people that had cash waiting on the sidelines have an amazing entry point if they believe that the bull market's going to continue. Now, one thing we've discussed is that a bull market lasts from the lows to the high for Bitcoin 1,065 days. Technically speaking, the clock has struck midnight for Bitcoin in this bull market. And I'll just show you guys very quickly that, again, classically lasts about 1,060, 1,070 days. That's your last bull market, and that's the one prior. And we are about, 1,060 into it. So October, supposed to be a bullish time. What we've been calculating based on the lows to the highs of this cycle and the previous cycle, and now this one, technically there's a chance that the top is in October here. Technically, there's a chance that the top is in October here. And if the top's in for Bitcoin, then the top could be in for altcoins too. That's not what we've been wanting. I haven't really actually expected that. That's the math that it worked out just based on past performances. That's something I've been discussing as a warning over the last month, but I actually didn't think that it'd play out like this. Why did this liquidation happen? One, the president's tariffs, putting over 100% tariffs on China. And two, exchange activity, wretched exchange activity. What I've learned here is Bitcoin is truly king. Altcoins, I've always known, they're extremely volatile. When you're trading them, you don't want to invest more than you're willing to lose. You probably need to set your stop losses. By the way, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing here is financial advice. Do your own research, my friends. Please continue to do your own due diligence of these markets. And look, I still think that leverage is a great tool, but it's a tool that you need to learn because it can bite you in the butt. And it bit a lot of people in the butt yesterday. The good news in this is that leverage that got wiped out yesterday, honestly, is going to help if we're going to get continuation of the upside. It's going to help this be a more organic rally to the upside. That kind of dip that we saw, though it was spectacularly larger than normal, is the kind of dip that honestly was bigger than I've ever seen in the history of crypto, but It was reminiscent of some of the big liquidation events that we've had in historical big bull markets. Those kind of wicked dips, as terrible as it was, are the kind of dips that you actually do see when the market is about to do that thing, that beautiful up candle thing. For altcoins, for Bitcoin, I think this could be a buying opportunity, but I also need to acknowledge that there is historically a chance this is a top. I don't believe that, but I need to acknowledge that it's possible, because if Bitcoin starts to break significantly below $100,000 and getting some daily or some weekly candle closes below it, the thing could be over and there might be some plugs that I'll need to pull on some altcoins to protect myself. And we're not there yet. I've already achieved some of the profit during the 2024 explosive rally that we had in November and December, but I'm on my toes right now. This is where it matters, guys. This is where the rubber meets the road. I'm still bullish on crypto in the long term. I'm still bullish in the short term. In the midterm, this proves that a bear market is possible. And to some people saying super cycle up only, please do your own research. Realize that anything can happen in these markets. You can trade still. I think it's fine to trade. You just got to trade smart. Do your own research, my friends. There's affiliates down below, sign up bonuses. You know it's there, but people learned a lesson the hard way today. So you got to be careful if you're doing it, guys. You do. Hopefully you guys weren't some of the 19 billion that got wrecked overnight. Hopefully you guys set your protections in, and hopefully a Bitcoin's a part of everybody's portfolio, if not a big part of the portfolio. Bitcoin maxis were born yesterday. And I got the itch for Bitcoin after a dip like that. You just can't help it. Though if we still get continuation for Bitcoin, I still believe that altcoins are overdue. This was crazy. But I think there was some illicit activities going on behind the scenes that might get exposed, whether it was Binance or some of these other exchanges. I don't know who's guilty. But we're going to follow this news as it continues to unfold. I'm Crypto Kip. This is the Crypto Report. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel. DCA, hold on, my friends. Do your own research. Touch some grass. I went on a run today. Literally touch some grass. Go touch some grass. Be safe. Be healthy. Step away from the computer. Hang in there, folks. I think crypto's awesome. This does not change my thoughts on crypto, but it was tough. There's no doubt about that. More videos later today. See you in the next one, y'all. Peace.